Hello my beautiful fragrance family, Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and give me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification, and I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That $40-ish and $100 range, and most of these are way less than that. And a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And as you can tell in the thumbnail, I have 3 fragrances for you. Really, the third one is kind of an honorable mention, but we'll get into that in a bit, that are my most complimented fragrances. And I don't mean numbers-wise. And when I say that, I'm talking about percentage. From wear, like wearing, to compliment ratio. If I wear a fragrance 10 times and I get 5 compliments, or 5 times that I wear it, whatever, you know, per capita, I've gotten more compliments. Or I can wear a fragrance 1,000 times and get 30 compliments. It's way more compliments than 5, but I've worn it 1,000 times, you know what I mean? So obviously I'm probably going to get more compliments, like Rasasi Hawas. It's a compliment magnet, but didn't make this list. You see how much I've wore this thing, so per capita, it hasn't received quite the percentage as these fragrances. That analogy was mainly for my non-subscribers, because my subscribers are very, very smart, so I'm sure that they picked up on it right away, what I'm talking about. I'm just teasing. Hit that subscribe button, please. The like button, actually, from what I'm learning, does a whole lot too. So, just FYI. Let's go ahead and kickstart things off with a Lattafa fragrance. I think that all 3 of these are going to surprise you. They really surprised me when I was going through my collection and trying to figure out which ones were the most complimented. One of them did not surprise me, but it probably still will you guys. But let's start off with one of my newest pickups. And so far, it's batting 1,000. Every time I've wore this thing, somebody, if not multiple people, have given me compliments. That's Al Noble's Amir. The lid is actually solid metal. It's nice and heavy. It used to click real nice into place. I've dropped it and stuff, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Testing the durability of this thing. Atomizer is your typical decent Lattafa atomizer. And this is like felt. It feels good in the hand. You know, the shape of it, it feels nice in the hand. It's borderline ergonomic. These are like metal, and they're like glued on there. This will come off if it gets hooked on anything. So what you can expect in this one is basically a synthetic, somewhat sweet, spicy, woody, smoky, leather kind of a fragrance. The labdanum is pretty loud in this thing, and when it starts settling, after you get past some of the louder spices and stuff right at the beginning, the labdanum is kind of almost like, picture walking into like the belt section of a store or something. It's like a moist leather, and it's just so lovely smelling. This thing hits way, way, way harder than the price tag. If this thing wasn't on the hype train, I don't know. I haven't been watching a whole lot of reviews, so when I review these things, I'm not going off of other reviewers. I used to watch a lot more. I haven't lately. Maybe I should. But this thing needs to be on the hype train. If it wasn't, it's not that new of a release, but it's fairly new. And yeah, it's just a great smelling fragrance. It's awesome for the cooler weather. What is it that somebody told me that thing smelled? He said it smelled like the Crown Prince of Dubai. I thought that was a pretty good analogy. The Crown Prince of Dubai is what he could you picture wearing this thing. And projection is rated average, maybe a little bit more than average, where some of that spiciness will help kick it off a little bit farther. Longevity is decent on this. I'm getting 7 hours every time I wear it, and it's only like $22. It's a no-brainer. It really is. And the other 2, the orange one and the green one, there's a Wazir and I forget the name of the other one. They're both great smelling. One is a green, fresh, spicy. The other is very boozy. The brown one's a very boozy fragrance. This lineup is awesome. I want to get the other 2 and do a review on all of them. They're just magnificent. So up next, we'll go with our Moth Hunter Intense. It's a strange looking bottle. I'm not sure what they were going for here on this one, which is the case with a lot of these Middle Eastern fragrances. The lid does not click into place whatsoever. You got to line the deal up with a little doohickey on this thing, and it doesn't click into place anymore, and it used to at the beginning. You can see the fake chrome paint job is just getting eaten away by that perfumer's alcohol in this thing. Little detailing on the lid, and these atomizers on some of these Armavs are, to me, kind of notorious for not being the best, and this one is no exception. It squirts out a decent amount of juice, but it's like thick, fat droplets. But in the end, it is not about how the juice gets out of the bottle, it's how the juice smells on you, right? So what you can expect on this one, it is first of all synthetic, sweet, citrusy, fresh, spicy, a little bit woody, aquatic kind of a fragrance. It's a good cross between Invictus Intense and Dior Sauvage. It has like that same kind of sweetness that like YSL has, that ambroxan woody peppery thing of Dior Sauvage, mixed with a lot of that like aquatic, denser, like some of the spiciness that Invictus Intense has. It's a very, very good smelling fragrance for the price. Compliment machine. The first like 10 times I wore this thing, I got compliments from multiple people throughout the day. I didn't think that it was even projecting off me, but apparently it was. And this was like 6 hours into wearing this thing, I was still getting compliments. Haven't wore it in a little while. I don't know if the performance has even increased since then, because I know sometimes when these things macerate, they actually increase in performance, scent quality and everything. As far as the scent profile, it still smells the same. It smells exactly the same, but yeah, it's what is the concentration? I think it's the eau de parfum. Pretty positive it is. Most of these are eau de parfum, so I think it's pretty safe to say that this one is no different. But it's that tip. If you have a lot of blue fragrances, if you have like, it doesn't smell so much so like Dior Sauvage that it's going to be redundant. Like you can easily own this in Dior Sauvage. You can easily own this and YSLY or Invictus or something. But if you have a bunch of those, if you have Invictus, if you have YSLY, if you have Dior Sauvage and all those, you don't necessarily need this one, but you can have it and it not be too redundant. Also, this thing is only like $20 still. It's super cheap, and for the price tag, it is outperforming its price tag. The compliments, obviously, it made this video, so are way up there. It's overall a wonderful, should be on the hype train kind of a fragrance. It's not even a new one, but when it came out, it definitely, I think it was tiptoeing on the hype train, but it needed to board that thing full throttle, because this thing, to me, is that good. If you don't like synthetic fragrances, you aren't going to like this. But if you don't like synthetic fragrances, then you need to opt out on a lot of the designer fragrances that are out there, because they're quite synthetic smelling. But compliment machines, and this one is definitely that. Super versatile. It's not strict to any kind of weather or anything. It's sweet enough that it'll work in pretty cold weather. It's fresh enough it'll work in the summer. This is one of those extremely versatile fragrances. It's not dressed up. It's playful. It's youthful because of how sweet it is. Not so bubblegummy, but it is sweet, fresh, somewhat spicy, citrusy, woody, floral. I forgot to mention that. There's a bit of florals in this too, like geranium, kind of like a little bit of a rose nuance in this. I enjoy smelling this thing. Just the right amount of woods. Just the right amount of that like cedar wood, along with that geranium, mixed in with all that sweetness. And there's like a hint of some smokiness in there. A hint of a little bit of incense. Overall, I just want to smell it again. I really dig this thing. I have no idea where the juice level is. I'm pretty sure I need another bottle. Definitely backup bottle worthy. Yeah, citrusy, fresh, synthetic, a little bit smoky, geranium, the woods, that fresh spiciness. It's just, I can see why this thing has garnished me so many compliments. So if you're looking for compliments, which is by no means a reason for you to buy a fragrance, you should buy a fragrance because you like the way that it smells. It always feels good. It is our flawed, sinful nature that we like compliments and stuff like that. Look at me, oh, it feels so good. But in the end, it's about how you enjoy the way that you smell. That's the point of fragrances. That's why I wear some of the ones that I do, and people don't like them things. Like, What's a good example? Anyhow, yeah, this fella right here. Definitely not going to be a compliment fragrance. Those of you who have smelled that thing know what I'm talking about. I wear it because I enjoy it. Up next, honorable mention. Old school fragrance. This thing's been around for a long time. For some reason, almost every time I wear this thing, it's just sometimes I don't know what to wear. I'm like, hey, yeah, I forgot about that one. That one smells really good. I put it on, people are like, wow, that smells great, whatever you're wearing. This might take you guys by surprise. Kenneth Cole Black. It just does. It just pulls in the compliment. I don't know if it's the fresh, spicy thing. I don't have a lid. Got this thing without the lid. One of those deals. Decent little atomizer. Kind of directional. Fresh, spicy, green, that mandarin right up top. There's some incense in this thing. And almost a little bit of soapiness at the same time. Fresh, spicy, mandarin, incense, woody, soapy. Black is kind of a misleading color because this is more fresh than anything. It's more of a summertime, springtime kind of a fragrance than anything else. I don't know if it's the fresh spiciness like the pink pepper that's in this or what, but something just draws people on this thing. And I get complimented time after time that I wear this thing. And I have had this thing for quite some time. I don't know if you can see the juice level. It's right about there. And it hasn't spoiled or anything like that. Still smells awesome, even to this day. Even though it's an old school fragrance, Kenneth Cole Black still doing its thing, still inexpensive, definitely relevant. I think that this thing is pretty much timeless. I don't have I think there's another version of it like Intense or something like that, and I want to check that one out because I think it's like the same scent profile, just longer lasting and louder, so I would love to check that thing out. But Kenneth Cole Black, the original, and yeah, raking in the compliments still today. So that's my final thoughts on 3 fragrances that really, really pull in some compliments. And yeah, with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always, and until next time.